This is another question that I get often, and I get it. All of these questions I get. Like I had all of these for what it's worth, I had all of these exact same questions. Um, is how do I stop attracting narcissists? So it can really feel like that after, especially after your eyes are open to this stuff of, oh my gosh, like there are a lot of people out there with really problematic behavior. What's going on? Why are they attracted to me? And, the reality is that narcissists are not really attracted to people, they're attracted to supply. And at any given time in their life, they could want, a person could be targeted for any number of reasons for sources of supply. And sources of supply, it could be, money, transportation, housing, sex, public image, social status, these kinds of things. So we don't really know necessarily why we're being targeted. But what they do after they target a person for supply, then they tend to exploit vulnerabilities. And because we're all human, we all have vulnerabilities. It's part of being human. We're never going to ever stop having vulnerabilities. So some examples of vulnerabilities might be, you know, you're a single parent, or you're single and you don't have children and you're a certain age, or you're you've been lonely for a while, or you're recently widowed, or you have money, or you have no money, or you have, a good job, or you have no job, or you're really attractive, or you're not attractive at all. I mean, there's just, like I said, there's no kind of no rhyme or reason to it. It's just whatever they're looking for, as supply and as a potential vulnerability that they can exploit. And so we all attract, and because they're constantly seeking out supply, they're going to be quote unquote attracted to anybody and everybody. Whoever has whatever they're looking for, they're going to try to manipulate and get that supply from that person. So it's not so much about who we're attracting, because we all will always attract the wide range of people, right? I joke around and call it like we all attract the range from hobos to CEOs and everything in between. It's kind of just the nature of it. However, it's less about who you're attracting and who you are attracted to, and how long you let these people stay in your life. So that's the bigger issue. Because, again, like I said, narcissists, they just kind of go, like, they just go knocking on doors down the line until somebody answers and like lets them in and lets them stay in. So it's up to us to be able to have those, solid boundaries, and to have deal breaker stuff, and to know what exactly is problematic, and to be able to get them out of our lives sooner than later. But again, when we're first waking up to all of this stuff, it's really hard. It's hard. It's, again, like what I was saying, it's hard for us it's hard for anybody to see their part in things. And especially, I think, for us, when our part in things is being kind and caring and compassionate and giving second and 20-second chances, because we're being solutions oriented, and we're believing that this person, we're believing their words. And because we tend to think that other people are like us, it just doesn't even cross our mind that a person like would be lying about certain things, or that they would be manipulating. It's like, why, like, because an emotional manipulator, they will lie when the truth works better. Like, there's no rhyme or reason to it. That's just, it's that constant, like, one-upping somebody. There's no, like you're competing in a game that you never wanted to play for no freaking reason. Like, it's none of it's even rational. And it takes an honest, decent person a while to realize that, because that's not even on our radar of possibility. So once we can kind of see that it's, you know, we have to have deal breaker stuff. It can't be this continual, always working towards a solution. There's gotta be that line in the sand. Then it's more about, okay, what kind of person am I attracted to? And, you know, and also I think it helps to assess ourselves for all our vulnerabilities. So that was a big, aha moment for me, was the whole kind of empty buckets thing, and realizing that for a long time in my life, I had felt really like kind of unloved and unimportant. And so I was prime for love bombing, and I mistook that as being healthy. So I was like, well, you know, here's this guy, he's so good to me, and isn't this how it's supposed to be? And it's a whirlwind romance, it's this whirlwind situation, but like that's really romantic, right? Like that's how ideally it's supposed to be. And then when things turn and it turns in from like a fairy tale to like a Lifetime TV movie, then you're like, okay, this is like way outside the realm of normal couple issues. This is like double life craziness. Like what is going on? But it again, like it takes a little while to see to see what's going on. And but once we start having deal breaker stuff, once we start realizing, once we stop, again, like, we realize, okay, this is enough. Like abuse, addiction, adultery, attitude. If those things are there, at least for me, those are mine. I'm done. Like if a person's not willing to be like accountable for their behavior, sincerely remorseful, and to make, consistent, sincere efforts to kind of right the wrongs, then that's not workable. That's not a relationship. That's not a team. That's a person who just has a lot of bad behavior and dragging us through hell. Lisa says, Lifetime movie network for sure. Yes. Yes. Highly problematic. Not normal. Like, it is not normal to feel like your life is a Lifetime TV movie. Especially if it goes, the highs are really high, the lows are really low. The highs are a fairy tale, the lows are a Lifetime TV movie. Telltale signs you're dealing with an emotional manipulator, because normal people don't have high highs and low lows like that. Ever. Like it's not that emotional roller coaster to that extent. Not even close. You know where you stand. There's not that like nervous, unhinged, jealous, anxious, paranoid, questioning, like falling apart at the seams because you're trying to convince yourself that you can trust this person who's had nothing but a pattern of untrustworthy behavior, but then they're kind of sprinkling crumbs, right? Of saying periodically, or maybe even doing the right thing, like the quote unquote right things, or what they think they need to do in order to keep somebody roped in. So, and they, like talk is cheap, and anybody can be on their good behavior for a certain period of time, but actions are where it's at. Lots of love to you guys. You are not alone. You are not crazy, and you really can move forward and heal from this.